Today in the studio, I'm going to talk about practice painting on inexpensive materials. Now, here's a piece of scrap wood I had lying around, which I'm going to work on today. But in the past, I've worked on cardboard, pieces of old drywall, just to try out my ideas, to stimulate my imagination before I pull out that expensive canvas that I've got. So let's give this a try today. I'm going to start with this piece, and we're going to first put gesso on it. Let's get to it.
The reason I use gesso and not a latex primer or a house paint primer is because it contains marble dust, and that adds a sort of texture to it and really helps. Now, I'm going to take this piece of charcoal and just start sketching ideas out from things I've painted in the past, scenes I've seen. This could be a little path through the woods. Take some water, spray it down if I don't like it, and then wipe it off and come back with a big piece of charcoal. And maybe it's a mountain scene, and maybe there's a little cabin down there and a trail to the cabin, or not. And let's see, I'll work on these mountains just a little bit. And as you can see, that could be hills now instead of mountains. And it could be a lake with trees around it. It could turn into a path around the lake and a little cabin on the other side of the lake, or not. We can put up a little split rail fence and a trail around all that, wipe it off. So the whole point of all of this isn't to show you how to create a painting. It's to show you how to play with your materials in a very inexpensive way. I probably didn't use much more than a thimble full of paint for all of this. Now look, maybe it's a mountain, and now I'm going to go back to gesso. I'm doing this white in gesso for a reason, because if this were an underpainting, the paint over top will stick better and flow better over the gesso than it would over a glossy white, titanium white. So once again, I'm playing with that. Maybe it could be a mountain, maybe it could be a sky up there and water down below. I'm not trying to paint anything. I'm playing with ideas and seeing what the paintings show me as I try different things. This is how you inspire your imagination. This is how you get back in the mood to paint. I'm sure as you watched me, you've had ideas of what you think I'm about to paint. You visualize in your mind, you think it's going to be this, you think it could be that. And keep doing that. That's the whole point of this exercise. What could it be? Maybe this is just all sky up here. And anytime the paint starts getting a little stiff or dry, isn't spreading right, I use a water sprayer and add a little moisture to it, and it flows out really nice. I can thin it down, which really helps with the sky. Now see how easy it was to do a sky this way? And I can create a little bit of a horizon line back there. Take the paint that's on the canvas and just keep spreading it around and see what it looks like. And maybe it makes you think it looks like something and you want to pursue that something, whether it's a lake or a field or a sky or an ocean or mountains. It can be any of those things. It's only paint. So you can make it absolutely anything you want. Now, I'm just going to keep playing around with this board and smooth things out. And again, I'm not trying to paint anything. I'm stimulating my imagination in order to bring up some inspiration. I often find that by playing with my paint on a surface, and I'm not concerned about the expensive canvas that I might be working on, that this playing around frees up my imagination. And when you use your imagination, it just always leads to inspiration. I'm sure as you've looked at this and the different phases this is going through, your imagination has imagined, again, what it could be or what it is. Now I'm going to take some yellow and put over top of that blue and white and just smearing it around, and I haven't decided what that's going to be other than maybe a tree line, and Start off with the yellow over the blue, and you get a nice light yellow. This could be a fall scene. I could add reds and oranges to it. And this might become a lake or a river or a field. But just putting that light yellow over top of the blue and the white creates a lot of different looks, which could be anything. Now, these could be reflections in water. These could be the waves. Now, it's a bright color for waves, but I'm going to come back with some Payne's Gray. Now, Payne's Gray is a mixture of like Prussian blue and black, but it comes in a tube labeled Payne's Gray. It's a wonderful color for getting a look of distance in a sky, or to mix with yellows to turn them into an interesting green. I very seldom use a pre-mixed solid color like a shade of green that's in a tube. A lot of the times I'll mix my own. Now this is the Payne's Gray here, and it will work as tree trunks, and as I thin it down and spread it out and just slam it in there and dab it in here and there. Uh-oh, look at that. It begins to look like leaves, and this could be a forest on the edge of a field. Or I could go ahead and make it a forest on the other side of a river. Not sure what, but it will be something.